Moving on, we got Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and I'm gonna put this one pizza time, baby. Oh my goodness, pizza time. And we're gonna even say it's better than Ultimate Spider-Man. Matter of fact, we're gonna put this, we're gonna shuffle this around. These are my pizza time S fucking tier, baby. This fucking game. Shaba Games, RIP to Shaba Games. Shaba Games were the fucking goats, alright? These guys had a limited time to make a Spider-Man game, and they made one of the best Spider-Man games ever made. It's almost like these motherfuckers sat down and said, and played Devil May Cry, and was like, how can we give the most in-depth combat system ever made for a Spider-Man game? How can we make a Devil May Cry Spider-Man game? And this is the fucking game they made, bro. This game, combat-wise, is the hallmark of Spider-Man game combat system. It is fucking insane, the shit you can do in the combat system. And a lot of that has to do with the black suit and red suit switch. You can switch in and out of black suit and red suit at any time in the combat system. So you could go from ground into the air and on the wall. So there's 3 different combat styles in this game. And then, mind you, 2 different suits styles. And my god, this game gets buck wild in terms of combat. In terms of the shit you can do with combat, it gets bucking wild. So let's just say, I'm gonna throw a scenario. You do a combo, red suit combo, Rising Dragon into a air combo into Web Strike, which was the new feature at the time, which was where Spider-Man web zip onto an enemy and bounce off into another enemy. So you web zip, but you do the web zip, the Web Strike throw, which Spider-Man will throw an enemy in the direction you choose. And let's just say you're close to a wall. You can web strike into an enemy, throw him to the wall, do an air combo dash into the fucking wall, go on the wall, do a wall combo, back into another web strike, web strike, throw an enemy into another web strike, into an air combo, into... This is where the combat gets really fucking crazy. Hold on to your buttholes. Into, while you're web striking into this enemy, switch over to the black suit. This black suit does way more fucking damage. Do the black suit air combo, switch back into fucking red suit Spider-Man, web strike into the enemy again, and fucking just keep going, bro. And KO the enemy. And if you want to continue and you're next to the fucking enemy, you know what you could do? Web strike to the next enemy and bounce off one enemy to the next enemy to the next enemy. And when you have to fight fucking enemies in the air, this is the most craziest combat system. I was like, what the? They smoking. Yo, they were smoking when they made this fucking game, bro. This game is amazing. The combat is so great, bro. Another thing I love about this game is the story. The story is so stupid. It is the stupidest fucking Spider-Man story ever told. But I like it. I love this story. It is literally Spider-Man Call of Duty. It's literally zombie mode for fucking Call of Duty. It is literally the most nonsensical fucking story. Like, why is it that Venom is like multiplying that fast? Who fucking knows? But he's taking over the city with a bunch of fucking symbiotes, and Spider-Man gets infected with the black suit, and you got the black suit. Shut the fuck up and play the game. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. Absolutely no fucking sense why the story's like this, but it's so cool, man. And you meet other Spider-Man characters and other superheroes. Like, this was my first introductory to Moon Knight. I think it was in Ultimate Alliance 1, if I'm not mistaken, but I vividly remember him in this game. I was like, wow, Moon Knight is fucking awesome. And yeah, and then you have Wolverine. Wolverine, my boy, is in this fucking game, and I was fucking happy, bro. This game is fucking amazing, bro. Amazing. The collectibles is also easy. Like, they're so close to each other that it's like kind of get addicting. So it never felt tedious to collect stuff in this game, and all the collectibles give you health upgrade, and I believe only health upgrade and speed upgrade for your web swinging. And again, the web swinging mechanics, and this is going into a negative, while the webs don't connect to buildings all too much, there's so much advanced techniques in terms of web swinging, it's ridiculous. Like, you can slide on the wall, you can wall run, then stop your momentum and go back down the wall. You can wall run, slide up a wall, and use web zip to zip yourself across a building. You can do a wall bounce, and you can hold it and wall bounce yourself. You can do a slide on you can do a vertical slide and then web zip yourself. Bro, like, there was so much cool shit, bro. And then the little details, when you're playing at the black suit, Peter looks more aggressive, and all his attacks, his hands shake when he does a punch, making it feel like the punch is like fucking extremely powerful. When you do a hop in this game, or a lunge, the red suit, he'll do like a little twirl. But when you're in the black suit, he'll do like a pounce, like a hunter pounce, like he's about to charge at you. Bro, this fucking game, bro. This game was the dumbest fucking game. The story is so dumb. I gotta keep going back to the story. It's so dumb, but it's so cool. It's like an alien invasion story with Spider-Man in it. And it's the dumbest shit, but I love it. The best positive I would give also to this game, because of the story, the choice system. Because since you have the black suit, you have the options to make bad decisions. And while the choice systems isn't perfect, I will say the choices really don't matter all too much until you get to the end, and you get like 4 different endings. Well, 2 endings, but a variation of the 2 endings. The choice system is fucking awesome. All right, it is so fucking awesome. Which is gonna get into one of my negatives of the game. The choice system is awesome because you can just play the most degenerate fucking Spider-Man ever, and I fucking love it. It is he's so out of character when you do the bad shit, but I fucking love it. All right, you ever wanted to date? You ever wanted to get inside them cheeks of Black Cat? You could do it. You could do it. You could say fuck Mary Jane and just date Black Cat, and throughout that section, Black Cat will be your informant and giving you information on the situation. And I'm like, so beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, and this is just some cool shit in the fucking choice systems. Fucking oh my god, the fucking Wolverine one is so fucking hilarious. My man rips Wolverine in half when you do the black suit choice for that shit. Damn, this game is, I'm just thinking about it right now, man. I'm just going through my notes and just looking at this fucking game. This game is wild, bro. The QTEs, man, also, once again, just like Spider-Man 3, are fucking hilarious when you fail them. They are hilarious. Like the most hilarious shit. I love it. I fucking love it. And then environment destroying, like, oh my goodness, like in this game, like there'll be enemies that would, like, you could send enemies flying, and also they could send you flying, and you could like crash into fucking cars and shit, and cars will flip in the air and shit. But you know what? And if there's civilians in it, it'll blow up in midair, and you're given enough time to catch those civilians. And if you can web zip to the villain, to the civilian, you could grab them mid-air, bro. And then one thing I didn't even know until I tried it, you can let the civilian go in mid-air, and Spider-Man will shoot out like a parachute for them to get down. I was like, this is the sickest shit ever, baby. This is the sickest shit ever. All that being said, there are some negatives that stops it from being the best Spider-Man game ever. But it is my personal favorite Spider-Man game. I still think it is the best, one of the best Spider-Man games. But I can see why people don't like this game. I would say the biggest negative is the voice acting. I think everyone's doing a great job except whoever's doing the voice of Spider-Man. And I'd rather not look up who's doing the voice of this character because I have very much disdain for this voice. I think he does an amazing job when he's doing Black Suit Spider-Man and he's angry, because it feels like Bully Parker. So I'll give them that. I'll give them that credit, but yeah, it's just horrible. His voice is horrible. Too much web strikes tutorials. I think by the second time, you kind of get it. And I get why there's so much tutorials on it. But, my God, it's like, can we please not? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah. Web strike. Too much web strikes. Too much web strikes tutorials. No side missions. Either little to no side missions in this game. It's more of a single, like a straightforward story. There are side activities like fight or save 5 civilians. Okay, now save 10 civilians. Okay, now save 100 civilians. Okay, last one, save 500 civilians. And it's like, shit is repetitive, and it's like, what the fuck? This is why I just tell people, beeline it to the story. Try to unlock the moves. And yeah, just beeline it. No difficulty slider. This game is pretty easy. Because there's so much options. You're given so much options on how to handle every single villain in this game. The game comes off very easy, so I barely died in this game. I don't think I died once. I think maybe twice, maybe once in this game, but the game is extremely easy. And yeah, oh, and there's no alternate costumes. Now, you're probably saying, well, you have the black suit and the fucking red suit. Wrong, Red Warrior. Shut the fuck up. You're not paying attention. Wii version of this game. Oh, yeah. The Wii version of this game has alternate costumes. They even have Spider Carnage. So, again, I don't want to hear this shit, bro. So, I don't know why it's not in there, but again, this game is just amazing for the combat. The story I like a lot, and the traversal / web swinging is so awesome. And I love how later the escalation of the situation gets even more fucked up as you go along in the game. Bro, again, it's incredible, bro. Incredible game. I don't know why there's so much web strikes tutorials now that I keep thinking about the game. But then again, I understand why there is, because near the end, there's literally a segment where you're in the air and you have to constantly stay in the air, and you need to have mastered the web strike mechanic. If not, you're fucked. You're fucked in that section. So, again, it is what it is. Moving on. This is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. And this is where Beanox got their first time doing a Spider-Man game. And I gotta say, Beanox knocked it out of the park. A tier, amazing. This game is fucking amazing. I love this game. I love it so fucking much. This game, if I can summarize it, it is Enter the Spider-Verse before Enter the Spider-Verse became a thing. And I want to give this game tons of props because this game felt like a celebration of Spider-Man as a whole, as a character. And I love this game. This game is fucking awesome. It is very levels based, but I think the levels in this game is so well done. And I think it's because you get to play as 4 unique different Spider-Mans, and each Spider-Man plays kind of similar but have unique things about them. So Amazing Spider-Man, he has like very web-based combat, so all his web attacks are like fists and mace and whatnot, and it looks silly and kind of cartoony, but I love it. You have 2099 Spider-Man. His combat is very fast, fluid, but the cool thing about his gameplay is that there's the free fall section, and it looks phenomenal. All right, and it's fucking fun to free fall as 2099. Then we have Noir Spider-Man, which Noir Spider-Man isn't really a fighter. However, he is given more stealth opportunities. He's the stealth character of the game, and all his levels are stealth based, which is fucking sick. And then we have Ultimate Spider-Man, and he has the black suit, and his whole gimmick is crowd control, and so he'll get waves upon enemies, and you just turn on the black suit rage mode, and you just go to town. Another cool thing about this game is the art style. So again, like 2099's universe is very futuristic, very colorful, neon lights and whatnot. Amazing looks like a comic book. Noir universe looks like 60s, 70s, 80s, probably New York aesthetic, very gray and black look. And then Ultimate has like a shell shaded look, almost like the Ultimate Spider-Man game. So very cool. And lastly, shortly but not least, the voice acting. Not only is this game hilarious, but the coolest thing about this game is that they got the cartoon Spider-Mans who voiced this character for years to come in, and each one of them gets to voice Spider-Man. So Amazing is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. You guys probably know him from How I Met Your Mother, but he did the voice of Spider-Man in the MTV Spider-Man show, which was a pretty fucking good show, despite how dark it was and the ending is trash. I fucking hate the season finale for that fucking show. But yeah, that he voices Amazing, and he's pretty fucking good. He's actually pretty hilarious in this game. Then we have Noir Spider-Man, voiced by my GOAT, my man, Christian Daniel Barnes. My man is my Spider-Man, bro. He is my Spider-Man. I grew up with this voice actor. I grew up with his interpretation of Spider-Man. So to hear him voice Noir was fucking awesome, bro. It was so fucking great, bro. Then we got my boy Josh Keaton voicing Ultimate Spider-Man. And Josh Keaton is the GOAT. He's my favorite Spider-Man voice actor. Next to Christian Daniel Barnes. He is, to me, the best Spider-Man voice actor. And he just kills it as Ultimate, because the jokes He nails the jokes in this game, and he's from Spectacular Spider-Man, for those that don't know. And last but not least, we have for the $20.99, and please forgive me, we got Dan Gilvaiz's, and he voiced Spider-Man 2099, and he also voiced, at the time, he voiced Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends. My mom grew up with that Spider-Man, so to hear his voice in this game is pretty good, although I do have a negative. I don't think he fits the characterization. I don't like the characterization of Miguel in this game. He's too jokey, but whatever. He feels like a sitcom's fucking Spider-Man, which is weird. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't give Dan Noir and give Christian Daniel Barnes 2099. I think my boy Christian Daniel Barnes would have killed it, especially if he's yelling "Shocker!"
Back here, Shocker! Shocker!
Christian Daniel Barnes, bro, the GOAT. Anywho, overall, the game is amazing. It's again, I talked about, is level based, so all the levels are based off of a particular Spider-Man villain. So 2099, he has Hobgoblin, he has Scorpion, and he also has Doc Ock, his versions of those characters. But then when you go over to Ultimate, you have Carnage, you have my favorite level of the game, fucking Deadpool. Deadpool's hilarious. And Shocker, which I love the running gag about the pants. Josh Keaton's killing it. Again, and this game is hilarious. This game is hilarious. I knew how this game was going to be so funny, because the first joke is that Peter's saying, Amazing saying to Madam Web, yes, Madam Web is in this game, and Madam Web is serious. She's like, you broke the tablet of time, Spider-Man, and we have to go with the other Spider-Mans and go save the universe and whatnot. And Spider-Man just stops and looks at the web of destiny, and he's looking, and he's like, is that a cartoon pig? He was like, he was not paying attention to anything fucking Madam Web was saying. Like, this game is hilarious, bro. So hilarious. And again, Josh Keaton is fucking all his shit with Electro and fucking Deadpool is fucking hilarious, bro. Again, there's one funny joke where fucking Electro about the pants and Spider-Man is like, oh my god, gross, nobody wants to see your junk. And then there's another one where Electro's like feeding off of energy, and he's like, oh yes, and fucking Spider-Man is like, Ultimate Spider-Man is like, oh my god, do you need some time alone with your little electricity thing? I can give you some time. Like, some really funny ass jokes, man. Like, this game is hilarious, bro. Hilarious. Yeah, and I also think this game also was the first Spider-Man game to have like actual like challenges. Yeah, like challenges in this game. Like there's challenges, tasks in between levels, like collect this amount of stuff, do this in this level. You have to beat this section in this amount of time. Like, really cool shit. There also was costumes for each Spider-Man, so you can really like mix and match what Spider-Man costumes you want. And last but not least, it had the Allfather, the GOAT, the late and great Stan Lee do his final, I think this is the final time he would do narration for a Spider-Man game, and it was fucking awesome because he only did it for Neversoft Spider-Man 1, and he did it for Enter Electro, and he did it for this game. It was fucking awesome for him to do that. Also, this game has level select, and you can tackle any mission at any time, at any point. So if you want to play Amazing and then like Ultimate, you can do that. If you want to do Noir and then 2099, you can do that. You can do it at any point you want. So that was fucking dope. The only negative I have of this game, I wasn't a huge fan of the first person mode. I thought it got repetitive after a while. It just got super repetitive. What else? And no free roaming. I'm a huge advocate for free roaming in Spider-Man games. I'm not a huge fan anymore about linear Spider-Man games, but this was fun. Again, the art style and the banter with the characters is so hilarious that I love it so much. So it is what it is. I really like this. I really love this game. It would almost go S tier if it had free roaming, but yeah, it does not. So we're moving on, and again, give Beanox their credit. This was like their first time doing a Spider-Man game, and they knocked it out of the park. That's impressive. That's impressive. Almost as legendary as Spider-Man, as Neversoft Spider-Man. Moving on, we get into, sadly, Spider-Man Edge of Time. And this is where Beanox started losing their stride. And they started really losing their strides. And sadly, I'm gonna give this it a C, but I'm trying to debate which C. I think I enjoy it. You know what? I'm gonna give it a C plus. So, Spider-Man Edge of Time. Edge of Time. This game has one of my favorite Spider-Man story ever told in a video game. The opening of this game is fucking epic. It opens with the death of Spider-Man, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, I'm like, what? Like, it is crazy, and it's a race against time, and Miguel is like yelling and shit. He's like, Peter, we got you, get out of there now. And like, Peter is just like fucking, by the time you get to him, Peter's dead, and you're like, what the fuck? And it's just epic. Like, the game story is just epic, and there's a few twists and turns. There's a big twist near the end that is like really fucking cool. And my god, if you haven't experienced Edge of Time, it's the most coolest shit. So I would give 10,000 props to the story. And then I gotta give props to the voice acting. You have two of my favorite. Remember I said I have two favorite Spider-Man? You have Josh Keaton and Crystal Daniel Barnes, the GOATs of Spider-Man. To me, the two best Spider-Man voice actors in this game. And they're bouncing off of each other in Edge of Time, and it just leads to not only some funny moments, but some really good shit. And they said, and I remember in the interview, they said they actually got them in the room together so they could bounce off of each other really well, and you could feel it. Like, the banter between these fuckers are so well done. And this game is voice acting and everything, and the story is so incredible. They also have one cool gimmick is the time distortion is when like you do something in the past and it'll affect the future, and it really fucks with gameplay and leads to some cool scenarios in the gameplay because the world will constantly change. And yeah, that's about it. Everything else about this game is awful. I think the combat is the same combat from Edge of Shattered Dimensions, but just done worse. Like, they didn't add anything to Amazing Spider-Man's kit, except now he has an auto dodge or hyper dodge. And I'm like, okay. 2099 has decoy. Okay. Nothing else. So there's no more Spider-Mans. There's only 2. There is a nod to this game at the very beginning, because Amazing is like, is the other Spider-Man's there? And he's like, nah, Old Timer is just... And 2099 is like, nah, it's just me, Old Timer. So I thought that was kind of cool. And in one of the levels, you can see the tablet of time on a particular character's desk. I'm not spoiling it. But yeah, like, just wasn't as good, man. Just wasn't as good. Like, I also think the free falling sections fucking suck for 2099 in this game. I don't know what, they're so great in Shattered Dimensions, and here it's just, they're either too fast or they're just the most sluggish shit. And then some of the challenges require you to not get hit, and it's like so fucking annoying. They brought back the challenges in the game, and yeah, I didn't care for the challenges in this game at all. Monster Arc is in the game, and that's the only spoilers I'm gonna give. And it's fucking pretty cool to see Monster Arc again. It was cool to see Anti-Venom in this game. And yeah, just overall, just a... Oh my goodness, I cannot tolerate this game. Just hate playing it, but love the story. Love the story. Just hate playing it. Also, and this is a huge negative. The game takes place in one building. It takes place in Alchemax building in the future. I'm like, oh fuck no. Fuck no. I was like, no. And you're in the game for that fucking long. You're in the game for so fucking long, and that the whole entire game takes place in that shit. And I'm just like, fuck me, no. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. It's so bad. I wanted to cry. That's how bad it was. So fucking bad. So I'm almost hesitant on putting it in the gutter trash, but the story is so good, it carries it. The voice acting in the story is so good that it carries it, bro. Moving on, bro. The more I talk about the game, the more I'm just depressed. Moving on. Spider-Man. Spider-Man Total Mayhem. Pretty good game. This was like an iOS, Android game, a mobile game. And it was kind of like the combat feel of Web of Shadows, but just toned down a little bit. It was pretty good. It was kind of like a sequel to Ultimate Spider-Man, but not really. And it was pretty good. Pretty good. Really loved the combat in the game. And that's about it. There's not much I'm going to say on it. Only thing I remember is really liking the combat of the game. Moving on. What else? Movie tie-in games. Yes. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. I'm gonna give this... a fucking low C. It is very mid. Very mid. Almost close to fucking trash, but I'm not gonna do that because there's some things I actually like about it. So this is the first tie-in game from Beanox. First movie tie-in game. And the first positive I'll give, and this is something that I don't think a lot of movie tie-in games have even thought of doing, which I really liked, was that the story take place after Amazing Spider-Man the movie, before Amazing Spider-Man 2 the movie. So you had a lot of time gaps to fill out. And one of the things I loved is that the story took place around that time period. And so the main villain is Alistair Smythes, the Spider Slayer. And one of the things I also liked is that all the villains, and this was something that the movie did, and that all the villains came from Oscorp, but in this video game, all the villains are like mutant versions. Like Mutant Rhino is an actual like rhino, a mutant rhino, and whatnot. And there's like an infection story going on. It was pretty cool. I like the collectibles in this game a lot. Oh, cool. Oh, also, going back to the story mode for 1 second, I love that Gwen throughout the whole game is talking to you and helping you. And there's some pretty good banter between them, between Peter and Gwen, and it leads to like a really emotional scene that actually it didn't make me tear up, but I actually felt it a little bit, because the voice actor, like, they try to recreate the death of Gwen, and it's actually pretty fucking well done in this game. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, going back to the collectibles. The collectibles are comic book collectibles that you have to web swing and get. And I would say they're fucking awesome because they allow you to read the comic book of the issue you collect. You collect a certain amount and you can read the issue, the full issue. So that was fucking awesome. What else? I like the web zip feature. The web zip feature allowed you to web zip, but it had like predetermined destination animation. Let's just say you need to get to a destination. You need to get to a destination and you need to, from the ground onto a pole, but there's a bus nearby. What you can do is thread the needle and activate the web zip, and he will systematically the system will systematically have him go to that area, but how he gets there is completely different all the time. So he'll like probably run on the bus just to get to that pole, or he'll run on the bus, jump off a building onto the pole, or he'll just web zip onto the pole. It was random, but I really liked the animation ideas, so it was cool. Other than that, there's nothing else I really like about this game all too much. It's not a bad game. I thought it had Arkham combat, and while it was very functional, I think for Spider-Man, it's not something I really personally like. It was too Arkham combat. They didn't even try to make it his own. The only thing is that Peter will does Lucha Libre takedowns, and I was like, this is fucking trash. And the biggest issue I have with this game is the web swinging camera. I mean, the web swinging camera is too far up Spider-Man's ass. It's like, zoom that shit out. But yeah, this is going in C tier. It's fine, but I think compared to other Spider-Man games, it's the weakest movie tie, one of the weakest movie tie-in games. until you get Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I'm not even gonna fucking sugarcoat it. This game is fucking awful. This has to be by far. Matter of fact, no, we're gonna put it a little bit down here. I would almost say I'd rather play Spider-Man and the X-Men than to play Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is by far the worst fucking Spider-Man game. I think this was when I realized I started seeing the flaws in Spider-Man games, and this is the moment where I was like, enough's enough. Spider-Man games deserve more. And again, these were annual releases. Activision had their hands on a lot of these Spider-Man games. And this was the moment I was like, no, something's got to give. Like we need to re-overhaul these Spider-Man games, all right? Because at this time, we were not getting good Spider-Man games. The last good Spider-Man game was Shattered Dimensions at the time. Amazing Spider-Man 2 just kind of broke me. I was like, this is the worst fucking Spider-Man game. Yeah, like just a trash ass Spider-Man game. Just it's everything. The only thing they fixed in this game was the web swinging. So the camera is now out of Spider-Man's ass, and it's more zoomed out, which is pretty good. So I like that. But a few things. They started to do a gimmick where you have to, in order to web swing to the left, you gotta web swing on your left hand. You gotta web swing on the right hand. And led to some really awkward controls, and then later on I figured out like you don't even have to do that in order to web swing. Right? It was fucking stupid. The story is stupid. It tries to tell a story about the movie, but then it's also about Uncle Ben's killer, which could have been a very interesting thing to touch up on if this was going to be like how they did Amazing Spider-Man. The first game, where it was like, okay, this takes place after the events of Spider-Man 2, and, you know, this is our interpretation of Amazing Spider-Man 3. That would have been interesting. Like, after losing Gwen and after losing Uncle Ben, he's kind of gone down the dark path. Could have been interesting, but they just delete that shit right off the bat, bro. Like, they didn't even fucking try. They was just like, nah, fuck it. We're not even trying. Yeah, this game's ass, man. There's costumes, but I ain't give a fuck about the costumes this time. There's dialogue options, but again, it's trash. Again, the combat's trash, or just a copy-off version of what you call it? Copy-off version of the Arkham games. The only cool thing is that you can now take suit damage. Trash. Just trash. This game smells stinky and awful. Fuck this game. Fuck this game and its ass. I fucking hate this game. And it was at that moment where I realized I ain't give a fuck about no more Spider-Man games. And I remember playing Arkham Asylum in particular, and saying, damn, I hope one day, I remember beating that game, and I said, I hope one day we'll get a Spider-Man game that is on the level and the quality control of Spider-Man, of Batman, Arkham Asylum, and the love and passion of, I hope there's a developer out there that truly loves and admires Spider-Man. And we got that through Insomniac Spider-Man. Or Marvel Spider-Man. This game is pizza time. It is the creme de la creme of Spider-Man games, bro. And the reason why I give it such a high praise and why I'm so excited for Spider-Man 2 is because Insomniac gets it. They get it. They're like the Rocksteady of Spider-Man. They get it. They understand why this character is so beloved. They understand why he is such an amazing character and why he has stand the test of time. This game is truly a love letter to Spider-Man, but also a bold Spider-Man game. It takes all the lessons all these Spider-Man games have done and either says we're doing it our way or say we can top that. And they just do. This game is the Arkham Asylum of Spider-Man game, where it just takes risks, and for the most part it works out. And I think the biggest reason why it takes the biggest risk is the costume itself. Like the Insomniac Spider-Man suit, one of my favorite Spider-Man suits of all time, because it's such a bold way, like with the white spider suit. But this game is fucking amazing, and it's an amalgamation. Why I call it the Arkham Asylum of Spider-Man game, not only because of the love, but it's an amalgamation of everything you love about Spider-Man, from the animated series, from the movies, to the comics, of course, and the games, and says, here's all of that, but here's our interpretation of that. And that's why I said this is a bold Spider-Man game, and it succeeds on every front. Every front, man. And the thing I love so much about this game as well, it takes Spider-Man lore, cool Spider-Man lore that hasn't been really interesting or done before, and they make it their own, and it's like fucking amazing. Like Mr. Negative in the comic books, he's pretty cool, but I never was a huge fan of the double personality. But the way how Insomniac interpretates him, it's so good. And the cool part is that you get to spend time with him before or when he's a villain. And there's a note later on where he just feels so guilty that Aunt May is gonna find out. And that's the thing, and this is why I said this game, Insomniac gets Spider-Man. It does a great job. This game does a great job of having the Spider-Man persona and the Peter Parker persona clash in this game so much. And a prime example of that is Doc Ock. The shit that they do in Doc Ock in this game. It's like the twisted version of Uncle Ben in this game, and I fucking love it. Like, there was a moment when I played this game, I was like, man, like I can't. I don't even think Doc Ock is gonna be a villain. And then it happens, and I was like shocked. I legitimately was shocked because they did such a great job of building that relationship that I was just like, man, I was kind of hoping that he doesn't become a villain, and he does, and it's like so tragic, and it leads to one of the most tear-jerking scenes in the game with Peter basically, where Doc Ock is basically giving him the great power comes great responsibility line, but he has a dark and twisted version of it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, bro, like this is so good. And again, shout outs to Yuri Lowenthal for his voice. He is my third favorite Spider-Man voice actor. He kills it. He gets the emotion, but also the jokes of Spider-Man pretty well. But the emotions is so good. So good. So good moments, man. Like, so much good foreshadowing as well. Throughout the whole game, bro. Another thing I love about this game is the side missions. I know people hate the side missions. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys are true web warriors, but the side missions in this game is fucking awesome because it made you feel like Spider-Man. And some of these side missions are so down to earth. Like, they feel like a one-off Spider-Man comic book where Spider-Man is just doing typical stuff for the neighborhood. And there's one side mission where, you know, where you're helping this one lady with pigeons, and you're like, what the or sightseeing, and then it leads into armed robbery, and she's guiding you throughout the whole situation, and I'm like, this is cute, and I like it. There's the one with the pigeon collection, and at first I was just like everybody. I was like, what the fuck is the point to this? And then you find out it's literally just it's the last thing the guy's wife did before she passed, and he's just trying to honor her memory with her pigeons, and that instantly connected with me and Spider-Man. I was like, okay, I gotta see this mission through. And there's just, again, Insomniac just fucking gets it, bruh. They just get it. They get it. They get it. Do I need to say anything more? Again, the music is so great. The music sounds so great. It belongs in a Spider-Man movie. Like they were not fucking around with this game, alright? It just sounds so fucking epic. It sounds so heroic. It's like, shit, the people, damn, like, this shit got me a little teary-eyed, man. It's like the people who generally made this game loved Spider-Man. It's like, fuck me. Fuck me, man. Like, fuck. Like, this game is fucking amazing, man. Like, again, it's not perfect, but man, it is. Like, then there's tons of comic book costumes in the game, tons. And then the cool part is when the game came out, they added even more costumes. More costumes for free DLC. When the Fox acquisition went through, and we were finally able to get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four back, they started adding in a bunch of fucking Fantastic Four costumes, and I was like, what the fuck? We had Plastic Bag Man, and then we had my Future Foundation suit, bro. And then the coolest thing about the costume is that Insomniac gave it the Insomniac flair to all the costumes. They didn't need to do that, but they did it, and my god, it was so fucking amazing, bro. Again, going back to the music, I love how, like, when you're web swinging, the orchestra comes in, but if you can actually mess with it, it stops when you stop web swinging. So it's just like orchestra, and like you could just fuck with the music in the game. I like that. I got a hot take. I actually do love the MJ missions. I think the MJ missions break up the monotonous of the game. However, I think I can understand the complaints of the MJ missions. Because I think they're too basic. And they don't have shocking revelations until the very end, or they don't do something as cool as like Miles mission where you have to run away from a Rhino, and then you come back and you're fighting Rhino as Spider-Man. They don't do stuff like that, so it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. But I love the MJ. I like the MJ missions. I wouldn't say I love them, but I like them. But yeah, and even the web swinging. The web swinging is so. Again, another hot take. I think the web swinging is better than Spider-Man 2, man. I really do. I know a lot of people's gonna be like, "That's fucking blasphemy." Or I even like it more than most of these Spider-Man games. Because it gives you, and I hate to use this word, the feeling of Spider-Man. It makes you feel like Spider-Man. Yeah. Yeah, it just makes you feel like Spider-Man. And the thing is that, you know, Spider-Man 2 web swinging is not bad. I like both, but if you have to ask me which one I like the most, it would be Insomniac's take of the web swinging, because it just gives you that instant gratification as a Spider-Man. It gives you the instant gratification. It gives you that movie quality swing where Spider-Man just keeps going. And I fucking love it for that. I love it. And it's a great traversal system. It feels so good just web swinging in that game. last but not least, but I do have some negatives, sadly. I think the boss battles could do a little bit better. I do like that there is one boss battle in the game that you can completely disregard. It's a side mission, and you could completely disregard it if you don't really care to. And I think it's the Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone side mission is completely skippable. You do not have to do it. I would say again the MJ missions I like, but they could have used a lot more work, like a lot more interesting things like puzzles or whatnot. It could have been way more interesting. You could beat those side missions in like the MJ missions in like 5 seconds. Like it's very easy. There's no even pushback. They're not having any pushback. I think it's the problem. Also, like I said, the web swinging could be improved. There is some annoying things. Like I don't like that you can't go all the way to the ground, so it's kind of like the game buffers you into the air. It's kind of weird. I don't like that. I also don't. There's not a lot of tricks. There's tricks in the game, but there's not a lot, which is it's weird. It's weird. And I guess my final complaint I would say I have about the game is not even the game, is the DLC. So of course, if you play the remastered edition, it comes with the DLC. The DLCs are very hit or miss. The City That Never Sleeps storyline. So there are some good moments in it. Like I do like the idea. What's the word? I do like the idea of what they do with Hammerhead. I think Hammerhead is really cool. But I fucking can't stand. I cannot fucking stand the ending to that shit. It is fucking... I cannot stand like Robo Hammerhead. I don't know what the fuck Insomniac was thinking about that. But I love what they do with Silver Sable in that. I like that Miles is on your ass. Is on your ass trying. He wants to be Spider-Man so bad. Wants to do Spider-Man shit. And Peter's just like, no. Chill. Chill the fuck out. I did like Black Cat a lot. Like I love her design. I love the music when she comes in. Anytime she's on screen, she's just good. I love that there's also takedown moves with her when she's tag teaming with you in certain fights. But man, that story bit with the whole kids shit, bro, I was so hyped to see where that was going, and then it's like, bro, they did nothing with that. I was so pissed, bro. And they tried to play it off like when she dies, it's like, oh my god, she's dead. And I was like, no, she's not. I just saw her disappear, disappear. So I knew she was alive. And I love what they do with Yuri Nabanabe. And I do think the DLC is slightly harder, because that was a complaint people was having about the main game, is that it's too easy. So they made sure the enemies were like really hard, but yeah. Overall, this is just an amazing game. Also, the combat. I didn't even talk about the combat. The combat is so fucking great in this game. It's not Web of Shadows, but I do like the combat. It's a hybrid version of... I think it's a hybrid version of the Arkham combat, the free flow combat, but they made it their own. And the way how they made it their own is with the gadgets. The simple fact that Spider-Man is not a fucking superhero that stays on the ground. Like, no, he flips and dips and jips around, bro. And here you could do arrow combo, web swing into arrow combo, or web yank an enemy into the air and do web combo. And then if somebody's shooting, you can like jump off the enemy, and then they'll get hit by the gunshots, and then you can do another web swing into another air combo, use a gadget, use like the web yank gadget that pulls them down and instantly KO KO'd him, which is something that they took from Amazing Ultimate Spider-Man. The simple fact that you couldn't just, when the enemies are down, you have to web them. And here, you can just web them and just throw them on the floor, and they'll instantly get KO. I love the combat in this game, bro. The combat is so good. You got perfect dodge, where and when you get your perfect dodge, Peter will just shoot out a web, living up to the name, the web slinger, and it's like cool. He'll do like a cool dodge animation and shoot the enemy with a web, and if you web zip, it'll instant KO them. It's so good. Or web strike, I mean. You can web strike. The stealth is pretty good as well. It isn't amazing, but it's pretty damn good. There's a few. You can do some crazy shit with the stealth in the game. Like, really good. So, overall, this is like the best Spider-Man game to date. I don't think there's any introductories on why it's there. And I'm sorry if that took so long, but yeah. Yeah, moving on. Last but not least, Miles Morales. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. And again, hot take, but I actually like this game more than Spider-Man 2. Miles Morales. So I got a big hot take. I never was a huge fan of Miles. I never saw the point of Miles Morales as a character. It always felt like, for me, when Miles, it felt like it was Michael Bendis trying to capitalize on black people and say like, hey, here's a black Spider-Man to make you guys feel better. And it's like, bro, like, we don't need that. We don't need a Miles Morales. We have Peter. Peter was always invited to the cookout before there was even a black Spider-Man. So we don't need a Miles Morales. So I've never was huge into Miles. Even when I read his comic books in the Ultimate Universe, I was like, you're cool, but there wasn't anything that really connected to me as a Miles, for Miles. Until Into the Spider-Verse, and in particular, this fucking game made me say, I love Miles. I heart Miles a lot. I think Miles, and in some cases, is better than Peter because I think in terms of storylines, I think there's way more stories you could tell of Miles. He doesn't have a long history like Peter, so you can do way more with Miles than you can with Peter, and people won't get upset. I think Miles, in particular, in this game, I love that he's a science nerd like Peter, but, you know, he's not as confident as Peter in his shit. And that's because he's only been Spider-Man for almost, I believe they said 9 months into this game, or a year. So it's like a year one Spider-Man story. And Miles is just really good. I really love, and this is something that touched me, is that, you know, and something that even in Into the Spider-Verse I loved, is he got heritage, Puerto Rican heritage, so he speaks Spanish. And one of the things I love in this game is when he's beating your ass, he speaks Spanish to you. Or when he's doing stealth sections, he'll start speaking Spanish. I'm like, yes, that gives him flair. He does the cha-cha when he's talking to civilians. Again, Miles, I think, stands toe-to-toe next to Peter, and it's great to see that he is beloved by so many people. And I just love Miles. I love Miles to death in this, man. I love him just as much as I like Peter. I think I love Peter more because I grew up with Peter, but, you know, Miles he's definitely standing toe to toe next to Peter. That being said, this game is amazing. It is shorter than the previous game, and I will say this game did feel like DLC. This is why it's low on the list. It is amazing. It does feel like DLC on expansion pack to this game. I love the environment, the snowy Christmas level of the game, so I think that's kind of cool. I think that's really dope. But yeah, I just don't like I wouldn't say I don't like, but yeah, I really felt like this felt like DLC. Like this should have been an expansion pack. This should have been the DLC we should have got instead of the City That Never Sleeps story pack. This is what we should have got. I love how in this game they make a good way of dis- differentiating Peter from Miles. Miles in this game is really like a newbie Spider-Man. Like some of his animations, he's like when he's like on a pole, he's like trying to balance himself. Even when he like does a stealth takedown, he's struggling a little bit. When he fights, it almost seems like he's like it's his first time fighting. Like he's just swinging. I love it, but that's the charm of the game, of Miles in this game. It is a year one Spider-Man. So, and I just love at the beginning of the game to show the differentiation of that. Like Peter is just like he's a professional, and Miles is just like, whoa, Peter, like, oh my god. But it's not coming off like how in the MCU is like, oh my god, Tony, oh my god, Mr. Stark. It's almost like, holy shit, he's making this look so fucking easy, and while I'm struggling here, like I'm struggling even to take down normal crime, he's just like taking care of normal crime while handling Rhino, while guiding me and helping me save civilians and shit. Like I love it, man. I love how he is in this game. That being said, this game is pretty much just the first game, but just with added shit. I also love that Miles has the Venom Blast, the Venom Strike, and it leads to some really cool combat scenarios, and even in how you navigate with the web swinging, he does a Venom Dash and Venom Jump. It gives you more altitude. And also the web swinging in here, the animations, they flow way more better. There's tricks into the animations, almost reminding me of Ultimate Spider-Man. It really does a great job of that. But more importantly, they added tricks to the game, more tricks, and it's fucking amazing. Like when you're swinging around, it's so good. It's so good. And the music, oh, ooh wee. The music, up to this day, I still hum Never Give Up. The menu screen music. Doom 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 doom. Like I love that song, and just the way how the music is. It's the hip hop mixed with a little bit of orchestra, but mostly hip hop aesthetic going on, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he feels so bad. It feels so badass listening to the music. Another thing I love in this game. I actually think that's pretty much everything I love about the game. I think also I love that the game has costumes. Again, it's just the same game, but just less. But they did a good job enough to differentiate it enough. That being said, I do have problems. I think the story, while is good, and again, it made me really appreciate Miles. And I do. Oh, that's another thing. I love the side missions. Again, it makes you feel like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and it comes back. The side missions come back to play at the final fucking mission, because Miles will start talking to the people that he met in the side missions. He'd be like, "Oh my god, this the cat dude. Did I save his cat?" Or, "Hey, the girl who's mute but does the painting. I gotta go save her and shit." Beautiful. So the side missions actually tie into the main mission, and I don't know, it gave me that Harlem pride, that New Yorker pride when I was seeing that shit, bro. It was like so good. That being said, I have some problems with this game, and in particular the story. I think the story is just Spider-Man, but not told well enough because it don't have enough time. Like, for instance, spoiler, halfway through, Miles' mom finds out that he's Spider-Man. And the next cutscene, she's just already cool with it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, again, that's some MCU shit. And I'm just like, bruh. But again, we don't have time because the game is only 10 hours long. It feels like 10 hours long. I hate the Tinkerer. Again, I know they're trying to tie it back into into Miles as a character. But her plan fucking sucks. Yes, let's go blow up a nuclear reactor energy. Let's destroy it. And yeah, it's not gonna cause any problems or literally destroy half of a block. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, is this bitch stupid or what? I get it, she's a teenager, but this is why teenager villains or kid villains make their plans, when you really sit down and think about it, makes absolutely no sense. So the Tinkerer's plan made absolutely no fucking sense. And she was just being a dumbass. I'm right? Fucking dumbass. I was so happy when she died. I was like, thank you, Lord. The only thing that made... I didn't even care that Miles was beating her ass. I was so happy when Miles was beating her ass. What made the final fight so impactful for me is that, again, it's because I did all the side missions and the nuclear bomb was about to go off, and I was just thinking about all the people I met in the side mission. And I was just like, man, I'm doing this for the fucking people of Harlem. I'm not gonna give up. So fuck you, Finn. Fuck you, you dumbass bitch. I will say, however, I do like the underlying theme of the promise, and how, like, Finn or the Tinkerer made a promise to her brother that she will do whatever it takes to stop Roxxon, and how Peter made a promise to, how Miles made a promise to Peter that he would do whatever it takes to protect the city. And I really love that. I really love that idea. And how they both go about similar situations, but in totally different ways, is really interesting. But Finn is just dumb. But again, everything they do in this game, it tries to do the first game, but just way weaker. And with that, that's it for the game, man. The game is amazing. Oh, and I also love how stylish the combat takedowns are. They have more, like, frenetic camera movement. Like, it just the camera movements on the moves are just way better. But that being said, that's gonna do it for my list. These are all my list, and that's it. That's all I have to say on this shit. Let me see if there's anything else. No, I think I'm satisfied with this list. I think, again, like, there's so many good Spider-Man games, and I think Insomniac, also Treyarch before they became Call of Duty bitches, and Neversoft, and also Beanox should be proud of what they've created. Adding to the legacy of Spider-Man is a bold thing. But I think, especially the games that made it to S tier and A tier, should give themselves a round of applause. Man, and I'm looking forward to whatever the next Spider-Man adventure. I'm looking forward for Spider-Man 2, man. It's going to be a hell of a game. Well, with all that being said, that's going to do it for my video. Again, these are just my opinions, so you can feel free to disagree. And if you do disagree, comment in the section below. Let me know, what is your favorite Spider-Man game? Again, post your comments down below. Web Warriors, we are only a few days away from Spider-Man 2. It's going to be great. This is my final video until Spider-Man 2 critique video. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anywho, my little degenerates, it's your boy Mr. Degenerate signing off. Have a good one. Later, my little degenerates. Later, web warriors.